Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today I have a breakup story that was sent into writemac.com to unpack publicly. If you want to send in your breakup story to writemac.com and pay $25, you can get your story read on the channel, fully unpacked with myself, like I'm about to do. In the meantime, if you like this video, throw me a like. If you don't like it, better to have an opinion than no opinion. If you have some comments for this individual and their story and their situation, please put them down below. If you want a live coaching session where we talk on FaceTime or Skype for an hour, 2 hours, and fully unpack your breakup, get some tailored advice, that's available with myself. And if you like the live streams, which I'm doing every day, I did miss yesterday, every day this week, they will be posted on my Instagram account, IG, and my name is Coach Mac McCarthy. So if you want to join my Instagram, there's a lot of pictures. Coach Mac McCarthy. Dinner's on deck first and foremost. Oh, Rod, how you doing, buddy? How's Chi-Town treating you? Getting ready for the lottery, huh? So, well, the lottery's already done. The Warriors are second. So we got a good story today. Not sure if got 4 on deck. It's an interesting story. Before I get into it, I'll wait a bit so we get a few more people on deck. But my ex from the past has resurfaced, but they have a girlfriend. So this is interesting because some people always get involved like, oh, my ex came back. Well, what do you mean they came back? They called you? They popped their head in the door and was like, Brandon Skinner, how you been? What have you been up to? That doesn't mean they came back to you. That might mean that they're just checking in. I mean, you know, what is it that you really want? What I mean by resurfaced, Clippers. What I mean by resurfaced, I mean someone just popped up. You forgot about them. It's an old relationship. You had moved on with your life, and maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 5 years. You kind of let that relationship go, and then out of nowhere they pop up, and you're kind of like, oh shit, like, we're back together? Or are you interested in me? I didn't know you were still around. I didn't know this was a possibility. And what this comes down to is timing and circumstances. So if someone pops up and they're popping their head in the door, that usually means 80% of the time they have some interest. They've been thinking about you. Something's gone wrong in their life, and it's made them think, oh my God, I remember when I was with Joanna and we had such a good relationship. I wonder what she's up to these days. Or my relationship shit right now. Something's reminded them of you. And I had this happen to me years back. I had an ex call me out of the blue like a year later. And it wasn't a ex that, was significant in the sense that we had been together for years, but we had a nice little 4 or 5 month period where we were pretty close. We had something going. It was good. I moved away, and long distance took its toll, and we kind of set apart, and it was fine. And when she resurfaced, I remember I was just got a phone call, and it was kind of like, Rye Ty, welcome. I haven't seen you on the show, brother. So when I got the call, I remember it was just out of the blue. I was home from work. I remember it now. And it was interesting because at the time I was single. I had a roommate in college that had a lot of problems, money problems, school problems, and your roommate's problems become your problems. So if you have roommates, always remember that. Someone told me that a long time ago. I think roommates are a good alternative to living with your parents forever, which a lot of people have seemed to have adapted to. But I mean, growing up, sometimes you have to move out. Anyhow, this roommate had just moved out. And so the thing about roommates too, if you're good friends and you're close, it's like family members, really. You get really close. And so I remember being like, oh, I hope my buddy's okay. And he was kind of going through some things, and I was going to have to come up with extra rent. It was kind of a tough moment. I wasn't in the dumps or anything. I had a job. I was going to school, but it was a transition period. And so when she called, the timing was actually really good because I was alone, and I was, she had my full attention at the time when she called. And so we had a long 1 hour talk about what have you been up to? I've been up to this. And she basically told me, she's like, I just saw someone at the coffee shop that reminded me of you, looked like you, and I just thought I'd give you a call. And so from there, we started talking and we developed a new relationship on new terms, didn't bring up anything from the past. And it was cool. Now, when someone does that, when they resurface, there's a very good possibility that that person could be seeing someone else. There's all kinds of variables involved. That doesn't mean it, necessarily means it that way. I've called an ex before just to see how they're doing because I was thinking of them, and it wasn't necessarily like, oh, we're gonna get back. I just wonder how you been. What have you been up to? And they're like, oh, I'm married with a kid. It's like, cool, good for you. We're not going to talk regularly about that now. I just wanted to check in and see how you were doing. I was thinking about you. And the fact that you have a kid and you're married, I'm happy for you. So, those are different ways that things can resurface. So, right, Tyson, your last from the past resurface and they have a new SO. I don't know what an SO is. Spells so let it be. So nothing. Move forward. So if your ex resurfaces and they have a partner, they have a boyfriend, girlfriend, they have a situation where they're calling you up, but they're with someone. Significant other. I've never heard that term, an SO dot like that. Okay. I was thinking SOL. Welcome, Raitai. So, or RYTY. So, if they do, you might be thinking, why did you even call me? They might have just been thinking, hey, I just want to see how you've been. I've just been thinking about you. That some people can have significant feelings for an individual after a breakup and not necessarily revisit calling them with, the idea that they're going to hook up right away. It's completely possible. And so each situation is different. So you guys ready for this story? For me to get into it? I actually didn't post my schedule for today. So this individual did send their story into writemac.com. And that's why when you send the story in, you fully write it out, you pay a fee, you spend a little bit more time with the details, with the editing, to actually get better help than just putting in, hey, Mac, can you help me? My ex left me 2 weeks ago. I miss her a lot. What should I do? It's like, what happened? Oh, I couldn't pay the rent and I lost my job. So how am I going to give advice on that? I need more. The more details, the better. The more advice I can give you, the more unpacking we can do of what happened. So let's get into it. Excuse me. Did that take down? No. No, we're still on deck here. Okay. Why is this happening? There it goes. Okay, so thank you for your response, Coach. Okay, time to unpack. So I want to give you a little history. This is where it really counts to write out the history of your story. It helps me a little bit, see where you're coming from. This is my childhood boyfriend, age 14, and I need to stress we did not have any intimacy. We did not do it. That is important because all our close friends would always say, but y'all never had sex, to dismiss the relationship. We grew up in the Bronx, hanging out, partying hard. His dad owned a club until his mom moved him to another city at age 18. We always kept in touch, but we definitely started dating other people. He ended up having a son. I went away to school and then the military, but we always stayed connected through mutual friends. So bottom line is, this is a sort of puppy love. You considered it a childhood partner in the sense, but you had no intimacy. And so you were at a different place in your life. Bottom line is, some might say this is puppy love. I don't know what you would call it, but it's feelings, it's emotions, and it's someone you were close to at a time in your life when you were growing up and going through a lot of changes. We always kept in touch, but we definitely started dating other people. He ended up with a son. I went away to school and then the military, but we always stayed connected through mutual friends. Cool. Fast forward, I married my husband, whom he knew, again, because we had mutual friends. I have 2 children. I was returning back home to New York from the military. Well, thank you for serving. And okay, so this is a nice little background. Basically, this individual knew your husband. You guys have mutual friends. I received a call from a mutual friend updating me on my childhood ex. I mean, I wouldn't even say childhood ex. I would use the word teen. He was living with and dating one of my close girlfriends. I was devastated. Isn't that interesting? You know what it probably is that you ended that relationship on a sort of cliffhanger. So what do I mean by that? That you basically had a good thing going. You guys never had any intimacy, and then he moved away. And so it probably created a hole that was, basically never filled. This female friend of mine was one of the people who would call me over the years to keep me updated on my ex. So I was shocked that she was dating him. Well, I mean, he's open game. He's single. You're married with 2 kids. You could be shocked. It could bother you just more that you're still attracted to him. I contacted her to confirm the news. She denied it and stated he just needs a place to stay temporarily. But why do you care? You're married with Troll and you all never had any intimacy. She just missed my feelings. Okay, so it just depends on. This is an interesting situation because you actually want me to be honest and non-biased. I'm going to be honest with you. She has a point. The fact that she's saying that he's just staying here temporarily and it's not true means that she somehow feels guilty about telling you this, or they aren't serious, but they might be seeing each other. And if you're currently married with kids, she has a point. If you're with someone and someone pops up through your mutual friends or through your teen years, and one of your friends ends up hooking up with them because that was your ex of how long ago, they don't owe nothing to you. I would say though that I would like, if it was my friend, for them to be honest and say, yeah, we've been seeing each other for a while, and then yeah, you have a right to say, like, at least be a little bit remorseful of the fact that, wow, it hurt you a little bit. But on the flip side, your friend has a point. Everyone knew we always had strong feelings for one another. Okay, but everyone's coming back to the point that you guys never had intimacy. And let's face it, that's a different level. But if it's 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I don't know what your current age is now. Here's the thing about life in a lot of regards, and this isn't personal towards you, no one owes you anything in this respect. Like, yeah, you had feelings and whatnot, but this guy's open game. You're married. You have 2 kids. Yeah, it might bother you, but no one's going out of their way to hurt you. And no one's, it's one thing if someone was seeing your ex-husband, someone you had been with and had kids with, that's a little deeper. Now, that's a choice also if your ex-husband's a free agent and you guys are actually broken up, but it's a little deeper than that, right? That being said, like I said, your friend has a point. I ended up divorcing my husband and moving on. Sorry to hear that. I was invited to a friend's baby shower where I saw my ex. It was awkward but exciting right away. I asked him, was he dating my girlfriend? Fair question, direct question. Don't beat around the bush. He denied it and stated, but we need to talk. He later explained that he was having a hard time and needed a place to stay. He did admit they slept together, but she meant nothing to him. Well, I would say if your friend said he just needs a place to stay temporarily, your friend is pretty much stating the same, that they had this casual relationship that probably had some intimacy mixed in, but neither one of them are claiming to be together. We kept in contact and we began dating, that relationship naturally ending with a girlfriend who I called I'm sorry, let me move back. He did admit they slept together, but she meant nothing to him. We kept in contact and we began dating. That relationship naturally ending with my girlfriend, who I called my sister, but I always resented both of them, and I was secretly angry with him. I think you need to come to some neutral way to deal with that. Him needing a place to stay, him sleeping with that woman in no way crossed any boundary of going out of his way to hurt you. The fact that you were hurt by it is more jealousy than right or wrong. We ended up moving in together, raising our children together. We stayed together for 5 good years. Wow. Wow. Well, that took a big turn. I started nursing school, and this was the downfall. I met a male nurse whom I had so much in common with, and I cheated. Well, good for you for being honest, okay? A lot of people out there, oh, she cheated. Oh, she's a horrible person. It happens. It happens a lot at the workplace. And you being upfront and honest about it, I'm going to give you credit for that. Remember, I still was angry with the ex for sleeping with my friend. No, 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 no. Okay. Those things aren't mutually exclusive, or whatever you want to call it. Those are two separate matters. And he told you he slept with her. He told you that he was staying at her house, so he was being honest. Your friend said it wasn't really any of your business. Okay? Though neither of them owed you an explanation. Neither of them even needed to address it. Before you got together, he told you the truth. I ended up leaving my ex cold. I came home one day and said, I'm not happy and I'm leaving. Okay, so I would say what you're not happy with should have been present moment stuff. If you're holding that over his head that he slept with one of your best friends, I don't think that's fair. He was left with all the bills and trying to figure out how to raise his son without me. Babysitting issues, rent, everything was left to him. I didn't feel bad at the time, but now looking back, I cannot imagine what he went through. I was being selfish. Okay, again, people hearing this are going to be thinking, wow, that's fucked up. Like I said, I commend you for being honest and being accountable at this time. Needless to say, the relationship ended with my classmate, and all contact ended with my ex. All of our mutual friends heard what happened. So when you left him with all these bills and trying to figure it out, did you feel validated in doing this because he had slept with your good friend prior to you guys getting together? Or did you seem like it was validated because he was doing something else wrong? I later moved to Georgia with my mom and 2 children for a new start. We lived there for 5 years. My mom became abruptly sick. I'm sorry to hear that. The doctors in Georgia had no clue how to treat her. I found a hospital in Maryland. I made arrangements to move there to get my mom better treatment. Good for you. We moved her. She ended up passing away 3 weeks later. It gives me chills, hon. September of 2019. I'm sorry to hear that. Again, I was devastated, or should I say I'm still heartbroken. It's your mom, hon. It's understandable. My ex reached out when he heard and has been calling ever since. Well, that's a stand-up figure. You guys were together 5 years. It ended bad. It sounded like he got the short end of the stick, and he still had the compassion to call you up about your mom. That says something about his character. We stayed on the phone for hours reminiscing. I apologized to him for leaving him and cheating and stated, I'm over it. I forgive you. Leaving him and cheated and stated, I'm over it. I forgive you. So you said that to him, or he said that to you? My feelings are growing again. I finally got up the nerve to ask him, is he in a relationship? And he said yes, and living with her. Again, he's being honest, okay? And him reaching out to you when your mom passed away sounds genuine. And I would say if that happened to an ex of mine, and I felt compelled to just say, hey, I don't think he was trying to start something up or be like this is an opportunity to hook back up with you. From that point on, that stirred something up, and now he told you the truth. So now I'm questioning, then why the hell are you calling me? Well, if he called you initially to give condolences about your mom, I think he was genuine in that. And on the phone until 2 a.m. Probably didn't know it would lead there. He said that he is planning to move out, but he said the relationship is good. He just needs space. All right. Again, he's being honest. I think at this point, with your guys' distance, you guys were together 5 years, and the fact that you've known each other since you were kids, he can have feelings for you in a way that aren't instantly romantic. And the timing right now, if he just said the relationship is good, he just needs space, he's just told you right there, I'm not going to leave this woman for you. Okay, so he tells me his son is going to college in Maryland, so he would like to see me. I agree. They came to visit me and my kids 2 weeks ago. We had fun, listening to music, looking at pics. We took a walk on a trail, holding hands. We talked about him moving to Maryland to be close to his son. So now I'm really confused. The part that gets me is you said you were holding hands. So that leads you to believe that he has feelings for you. So now I'm really confused, but anytime I flirt, he just laughs at me and does not reciprocate. I would say he's unsure of feelings and his situation. The thing that gets me, and you wrote this story very clearly, I applaud that. Good writing. This really helps me give you advice. He said he is planning to move out. He said the relationship is good. So that tells me that he's a little confused in his own relationship himself. He just needs space. But anytime I flirt, he just laughs at me and does not reciprocate. That could be his character. You know him better than I do. The fact that he was willing to hold hands with you, did you initiate that or did he? I don't think he's willing to jump into a relationship with you from just out of another relationship. When he said he needs space, he's probably saying, look, I need to be, if I'm going to leave this relationship, I'm not going to jump into another one, let alone with someone that left me holding the bag, 5 years out of a relationship. So you probably are going to have these hot and cold periods. He needs to sew up whatever's going on in that relationship first. 10, this coach, I texted him yesterday and told him to leave me alone if he's not interested in me, and he has not responded. I do not want to rebuild our relationship, but he is still with the other women, and him not responding gave me a clear answer. Help. Well, you got your clear answer, right? I mean, the fact that I think he's being honest with you. Number one, why did he reach out? If he wanted to give you some like a compassion towards your mother passing away, I think that's admirable. The fact that you guys have had a heart-to-heart talks for hours at a time, catching up, it probably wasn't planned on his end, and it's good timing for you. And you're in a place where you're obviously single. He's saying that his relationship's good, but he needs space. So there's something going on in that relationship you don't know the details about. So he's entertaining the idea of you and him, but at the same time, he's not ready. Okay. And then there's the distance. There's all this other stuff. So you have to step aside, and instead of putting the ultimatum, look, if you're not interested, then I don't want to talk to you. You got to go. When you figure things out with your ex, and if you choose to be single again, I'd like to revisit things, rather than stop calling me unless you're all in. I don't think he's going to be all in anytime soon if he says he needs space from a good relationship. So you could reword that in a way that's a little bit more welcoming and a little less pushy, if that makes sense. And keep yourself as a free agent to meet other people in the meantime. But you guys definitely have a connection there, and it sounds like you're at a different place in your life than you were when you left him. And the fact that you're accountable for what happened before, and you guys can start from a new place is good. It's a good thing. But it's still, the timing's off, the circumstances are off, and until he figures out, I mean, it's really weird to me that he would say he's in a good relationship but needs space. So that tells me he doesn't really want to leave that relationship at this point. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions on that? So I'm going to go through the comments really quick. Someone said that the live stream's a little off. Sorry about that. Elvis Freshly, just want to say hello, man. Been quietly watching your content ever since my breakup. Big fan. Right on, Elvis. Like the name. Soul Cutter. Hi there, coach. Hey, did you see my message? I believe I did. Best to send in, if you're going to write a full story, send it in to writemac.com and pay the $25. No offense to you, Soul Cutter, but if the messages are really long, sometimes I'm not going to get to them. If you want me to make a whole video out of it, or you want to do a private video response, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I am busy, and people that pay go to the front of the line. What's up, Jen? How you doing? Kimberly Lusby. It's been almost a year since I broke up with my ex. He has been calling, texting, writing me letters. He had hi mom call me to try to come back. He has been calling almost every day. So why aren't you changing your number? What do you want from this guy that's calling you? How bad is it when someone contacts your parent as a way to get them on your side? I always think that that's a ridiculous thing to do. How to use WhatsApp as no contact period. Can I disable it? Arun Vignesh. I would assume that you could disable WhatsApp. In dealing with going no contact, I've had clients tell me that they've changed their passwords and given them to their friends. Social media fast is usually good for a month. I'm sure you could disable WhatsApp. Is that a real question? We're going to get married, but I changed my mind because he would leave the state or give me multiple threats to leave me for someone else if I didn't hurry up and marry him. We are over 25 years old. Okay, this is a really interesting thing. I've had this recently where people in their early to mid 20s, someone wants to get married, right? And I just think that in the 21st century, to get married in your 20s isn't very favorable. There's a few different reasons for that. I think a lot of people would agree. I think you're still finding yourself, who you are, what you're about. Can you get married in those years? Sure. I'll tell you this: if you're having second thoughts or you're not sure about it, don't get married. So the idea that someone has to threaten you for them to marry you, I would say that's immediate no, and then again no. Once you deny someone that's gotten on bended knee, and you say no, I think your relationship takes about 15 steps back, not 2 steps back, because someone's going, I'm all in, and you're like, no, I'm not all in, but like we could still be together. I think that creates a resentment in the other person, and they somehow lose a little hope in the relationship. And so you might say, well, I wanted to stay together. I just didn't want to get married. Well, if the other person wants to get married and you're getting pressured into it, you got to really consider breaking up. Block them on WhatsApp. None ya biz. I'm sorry if the stream seems to buffer a lot. I'm not sure what I can do, but maybe my internet connection's pretty good. I might have to get a better one. Holding things over people's heads, you'll always have those things getting in your way. Progress in a relationship, think about it. What's up, Keisha? Using an opportunity to hook up. Whoever is going through the tough time is vulnerable. If it's you, don't fall for people out of vulnerability or desperation. Do you need a relationship or a friend? That's a really good way to put it, Ry-Ty or R-Y-T-Y. Clear answer, he's with other woman. The other woman is not you. I guess I just don't want to invest if we are in a dead end. And that's the thing. It sounds like in this situation, the circumstances could change. It sounds like you still have a connection. And I really like the fact that neither one of you are bringing up the past or throwing it in each other's face. The fact that this man, years later reached out genuinely to console you about your mother says something about his character. The fact that, you brought up, him sleeping with your friend prior to you being together, I think that was a little out of line to blame him for that. But right now, it sounds, the thing I'll give him credit for is he's being honest. He's telling you that I'm still with someone. This is how I am. So he's feeling it out. Like I said, the only other thing you can do is go, hey, when you figure it out, I'll be around. I'm still seeing other people and whatnot. But it was real when we went on that trail together and walked together. And I still have feelings for you. And if you want to entertain that and things don't work out with your current girlfriend or situation, and you end up moving out, I'm interested. Threaten to marry. So codependent types might go in that direction. Flatty Patty. What does that name mean? What if you do no contact and the person texts you? When does the no contact end? Good question. This comes up a lot. I need to know your story and what's going on, because sometimes no contact is not the best arrangement. People are like, isn't it always? That's what you said in a video. It's like, well, if I hear your story, sometimes I tell people you can contact them. What's up, Petty Betty? How are you, hon? I would say that first and foremost, what's up, oh Johnny, Jersey's finest. If the person texts you, you have to ask yourself, what do you want? You know them better than I do. If they're checking in with you and they're saying, hey, how you doing, Flatty Patty? What have you been up to? I think no contact. The goal is beyond the ultimate goal of getting yourself back on deck, moving forward and start working on yourself. If they do contact you back, you want to be in a position where you know what you want when they contact you. And in most cases, I say what you'd shoot for if you want to get back together is meeting up in person on a date, right? Going out to lunch or getting dinner and just revisiting things and being each other's presence. If they just kind of want to call you to check in and they're kind of feeling around, and some people will do this, they'll be like, oh, what have you been up to? Oh, are you seeing someone else? And then the person will be like, oh, did you want to go get lunch? And they're like, oh, I'm too busy. I don't think it's a good idea. And then you just go, okay. And then you continue on. And you got Flatty Patty, you just got to be really clear on, if you do talk to that person, what is it that you want? Do you want to get back together? Do you want them to come back to you all in? So that answer leaves a lot. I need a lot more detail. So Flatty Patty, if you want to send in your story to writemac.com, I could unpack that and probably give you a better tailored answer, or we can do a live coaching session. I was with a guy who ghosted me, then comes back, then ghosts me again. So I ended things. We live in different states and haven't seen each other in 2 years. Well, then I would move on. If that's the style of communication you have with someone that's long distance is difficult enough. To slap that on top of it. You're settling for a relationship that's you're settling for a relationship with an individual that chooses to communicate through ghosting you. And then on top of it, you guys are 2 states apart. Okay. So if I were you, I would restart the game and go, you know what? I'm done with this one. Block the individual. And how about pursuing someone that's in your same zip code? Haha, love you. Hit me with the Jersey reference. Wonder if I'm a Jersey person that tunes in. Wonder if I'm the only Jersey person. I think there's someone else from Jersey. I've had other people from Jersey. A lot of them are from Jersey, but they work in New York, right? Love the promo vids you've been putting out lately. Thanks. So Johnny, I got a cameraman. I got a former student that I used to teach at the university. It's really tough finding work right now for everyone. So I say, hey, look, if you can make videos, take some good photos, and he's not a trained photographer or videographer. So I gave him the good camera that I've never used. And so that's why the camera's a little shaky. I'm like, let's just start popping videos. So that's what we've been doing. I was my grandma, her sister, and their 3 friends call themselves the Fat Five instead of the Fab Five. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I hate ghosting. I don't do that anymore, nor I will allow it to happen to me ever again. Yes, Flatty Patty, move on. Utilizing resources I like. Well, you know what's really nice? So Johnny is this former student of mine. I always liked him. He's a good kid, you know. And it's just like I said, there's just right now where we live, it's hard for a college graduate to get a job. So I said, just come work with me for a month. I don't have a lot of extra money to give you, but we'll get the experience going. And it's been really good for both of us. Philip, how are you, my friend? I shouldn't ask because I know you're not doing well. One thing I'd like to say, because me and Philip have done a couple live coaching sessions. He sent me an email. Thanks, Coach. I really value your opinion. I value you too, Keisha. I appreciate the honesty in your story. Sometimes, when someone's sending their story, they want to make themselves out to be good. The reality is you look back on life and you're like, yeah, I was selfish, or I was this, I was that. And then you got all paths lead to now. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're in a good position one of the good things, Keisha, for both of you right now is that it seems like you're both being pretty honest with each other. If you want to leave that door open for them, I just wouldn't throw an ultimatum out there, and continue to be you. It sounds like you got a lot going for you. You're a nurse. You were in the military, things like that. And I'm really sorry to hear about your mom. I mean that was tough, and that's probably why you're a little vulnerable this next year, right? I lost my sister a couple years ago, and it like comes in waves, and so you can get a little bit more emotional and whatnot, especially someone that you had a relationship like that since you were young. It's different for you. I could feel it when I read it. Sometimes, like, this might sound a little cheesy to some people, but sometimes reading so many people's stories and stuff, you can feel it. And I was like, right when I read that, I'm like, oh, that's tough. That's really tough. So you're still probably grieving from that a bit too. Okay, so you're still a little bit vulnerable. And the fact that he reached out to you in that time was significant. And you got to be thankful that he did do that. Yes, I had a moment and I was definitely emotional that day. But you have a right for that, hon. You have a right for that. Losing a loved one, losing a family member, let alone one of your parents, is going to linger for a little while. It's going to linger for a while. And like I said, I commend him for reaching out and being a big person and just saying, I heard about what happened and I hope you're okay. Jonathan Mule, pregnant girlfriend breaks up with me, moves 12 hours away with family and starts talking to someone else. She's talking to someone else while she's pregnant. Wow. Despite huge efforts made on my part to provide, she is still very emotional, prideful, and combative. I mean, Jonathan, go to writemac.com and send me your full story. I'm sure it's deeper than that, although that's pretty action-packed what you just gave me. That sounds serious, dude. For me to help you, I would want all the details and unpack that in a live coaching session is what I would suggest, because you got a lot going on here. I'm not going to cure the situation, but I could certainly help you get some clarity. The Thailand shots are amazing. Thanks. So, Johnny, didn't you say you're of Haiti descent, if I'm correct? So you're an islander. Yeah, Thailand. Where I live is just beautiful. I've been saying that for a long time, and now with the camera guy, I'm able to show it. Those are my Instagram. Those are real pictures. Those are pictures that from the beach that I go to. So no Photoshop. Is someone else a potential love interest, or those someone never will work out? You tried. What's up, Francois? Not good. She contacted me. She thought she bought a bed and breakfast and he is going with her. She also flipped out while texting, told me to take care. Wow. So she bought a bed and breakfast. Wow. During COVID to buy a bed and breakfast I don't know if that's the best thing to do. I mean, I know it's lingering in different places. And she's taking her ex with her. Philip, this is ground zero for you, bro. It is clarity. There's nothing I can do to make you feel better at this point, but we do have to start accepting the reality of it. And what I would say is a few different things. Number one, don't try to reshape what she's told you. She's moving away with her ex, and she's starting a new life a few states away, far away. She hasn't invited you to go with her. She has now gone out of her way to push you away. I've told you this before, to make you somewhat of a bad guy. This is very common. Sometimes people are with someone that they love and care about. They have a good relationship, but they have some other things going on in their life. They want to break up. They don't want to break up. And so in order for them to make the decision, they subconsciously create situations where they subconsciously create situations where they make you the bad guy. And then if you react negatively, they validate breaking up with you because they don't have any other reason or grounds. Instead of being accountable that they're going to miss you and they love you and they care about you. So you have to let this individual go. You have to accept the breakup or not. You can continue to chase. You can continue to call her. But the situation has changed drastically now that she's moving away. Long distance relationships are hard enough, let alone ones where people are going out of their way to talk rude or bad to you and taking their ex with them. So if you're having a lot of trouble, Philip, because we've had a connection already, if you want to talk once a week with myself, that might help you. I've done that with clients before where if you want to talk once a week, I'll set up a package that's a little better priced and we'll talk once a week. And then you at least have something to look forward to during the week to get everything out that's bottled up. The other option is to keep a journal change your routine, because it's not going to be easy. Because right now at ground zero, I think you need to start accepting that this chapter, it's done. Well, is there a possibility this woman could come back? Yes. Anytime soon? Probably not. On the terms you want? Probably not. Probably not. I'll send you an email, and like I said, I can give you a little bit better price, and then you have something to look forward to each week to keep you going, because it's going to be tough. And I got compassion for your situation, Philip. You seem like a fucking stand-up dude. I think you're shocked by it all. Your circumstances of this breakup are unique. Here's the good news. You're a good dude. You're a good guy. You're a good catch. You can find someone equal or higher value in the future. But in the meantime, you're going to have to go through some pain for a little bit. But right now, what you just told me right now, based on the other stuff you told me right now, or told me before, double down on your exercise, take a cold shower, get out of the house as much as possible, change some of your routines. The reason you can't, like if you don't, I know you're a hard worker, so I think you work nights and whatnot, but it's going to be tough, but you're going to get through this because you've gotten through it before and you've had situations that are tough before, and you keep telling yourself that. And I want to add one thing. How you talk to yourself, Philip, is very important. Okay? Because we all talk to ourselves in our head, whether it's out loud or not out loud. And I think Bill Burr, the comedian, has a, I don't know if it's on YouTube on a few different channels, where he's talking about when he became a comedian and how to tell that negative voice in your head to shut the fuck up. And he said he literally was walking around New York City where he was broke and he was just getting by, and he'd get negative and he'd go, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because he said negativity would just creep in. And there's a really interesting thing. I forgot where I read it, about Navy SEALs. And obviously I'm not a Navy SEAL, but the training's some of the hardest in the world for that kind of vocation, right? And they, only the top 10%, maybe top 5%, maybe I'm getting this wrong. It's a unique small amount of people that get through the training. And they interviewed these individuals, and you know what the number one thing that they came across that these individuals do time in, time out while they're going through the training? They keep track in their voice. Sometimes they say stuff like, just one more step, just one more step, just one more step, just one more step, just one more step. Sometimes they say shit like, not on my watch, not on my count. I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not giving up. I'm not coming in last. Their self-talk is what differentiates them winning or losing. David Goggins is a good source for this. And so you got to find something. And I had this happen in one of my bad breakups, where you got to take a negative and you got to beat the fuck out of that. I'm sorry to speak that way, but you got to take that negative of she left me or she doesn't want to be with me. You got to turn it into a fucking situation like you're in Rocky. Okay. And I remember, I've talked about this before. I remember one of the things one of my exes said, well, you're lazy and you just care about being happy. And I remember that really stuck with me. And you know what? During that time that I broke up, you break up and you hear things that your ex said, and then you start going through all this shit that they said, right? You start going through like, oh, they said this, they said that about me. And we had dinner, I don't know, it was like months before our breakup, and we were kind of turbulent. There was some shit wrong. And I just remember her going, oh, my mom was saying how hard a worker you are. And I told my mom, actually, Mac's pretty lazy. And I was like, you fucking told your mom that? And she's like, well, yeah, you are. She's like, you just care about being happy. And I kind of thought, well, I'm guilty of that. Yeah, I'm a happy person. So, and at the time, it was true. I was being lazy about my job. I was smoking a little too much weed at the time. And where am I going with this? I get to ground zero. I'm in the breakup. We're broken up. We're not going to get back together. I know deep down. I know who she is. I know the situation. I say this. I'm going for a run. And I wasn't a big runner, but I was in good enough shape to go on these long runs. I start jogging, I'm jogging, and I want to quit my jogging. And I'm like, I'm not fucking lazy. I remember saying that to myself out loud too. I'm not fucking lazy. I flipped that. I could have easily sat in my fucking room and smoked herb and been like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, stay at home and veg out and I'm lazy. No, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I took it as an opportunity in my head. I was like, I'm not accepting that shit. Same thing happened when I was like depressed and I'm down. I got anxiety, the worst I ever had it for a moment. I was talking to a friend and I talked to my mom later on. My mom's like, maybe you should go to the doctors and get some kind of medicine. I said, fuck that. I'm not a victim. I don't need that shit. And I went back to running. I went back to exercising. It's all in your head, man. And so when you send a message and you say, it's killing me right now, change that fucking narrative, please. Using the word killing me is highly dramatic and it's not true. I'm hurting right now, but I'm getting better. I'm going to show up every day for my job. I'm going to show up every day for the 3 kids I got and the extended family that still loves and cares about me because I'm not giving up. That's the narrative you got to run, Philip. That's what you got to get in your head. Doesn't mean you're going to feel like fucking singing in the rain and jumping and snapping your feet together. That's not going to happen anytime soon. But one thing you can do is snap that little mouse on the wheel that's running through your head. Like, is she going to come back? Is she going to come back? Does she hate me? Does she love me? She's broken up with you, dude. And she didn't just throw up. She didn't break up with you. She did it in a fashion that was harsh. And she's made a decision to move states. Now, here's the silver lining in that. She's moving away. So this gives you less angst as far as her being close to you. And it's going to give you more of an opportunity to get through this faster. Why is that? Because you're not going to see each other anytime soon. And if you cut off seeing each other, her being 3 states over really cements that. So that's in your favor, actually, because you're going to have to get over this relationship. Is there a chance a month, 2, 3 months down the road that she calls you up? Yeah, but I think there's a good chance, Philip, that you're going to be over it. Because I'll tell you what, you didn't deserve any of this shit. You didn't do anything wrong. That's what I do in breakup coaching and reading your story. I go through it and I let you know, yeah, you did kind of do something wrong here. Do you want to be accountable and responsible? Yeah, well, Philip, you didn't do anything wrong. This is timing and circumstances, and this is a choice made on her end. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of other women out there that would appreciate who you are and what you're about based on your character. You know that. I'll email you about the once a week. Bro, my ex has just hit me up today after months. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, SMS? Get sleep because you got a new beginning of understanding, which most people will never have. I was shocked. I was shocked that during my bad breakup that I slept really good because what I did is I'd go out on these runs and I think I was mentally exhausted and I would go to sleep pretty well, actually. Don't go to sleep watching TV. Watch the content you take in. Get off the mat and go on offense, not defense. I told her her dad would be proud of her. I also told her the deck is big enough. Change or air hockey table. She replied, my dad taught me all I know, and it has an air hockey table. I replied. She said, I'm not a joke. Take care. Philip, right now, you're being nice, you're being honest, and she's playing fucking games and she's trying to make you the bad guy. Cut off contact with her for a while. Go on offense. I know this isn't easy. It hurts, really hurts to have to walk away from someone you really dig because she isn't treating you right. But love can often be like a street fight. And remember, the street fighter's number one rule, ignore the pain and carry out your offensive with everything you've got. If you can pull this off, you will walk with a confidence and power that women all ages will be able to sense. And more importantly, you'll like the guy who lives inside your skin. That said, if you implement the proper protocol in situations like this, it'll greatly increase your future chances, possible reattraction. At the very least, you'll get clarity in a situation. Thanks for sharing that, Rob. That's nice, bro. That's nice. This will give you insight as to why things went the way they did. Changes equal chances. Changes equal chances. Good point. I wrote that said line. Good for you. Ah, shit. She started talking like we haven't stopped talking, just asking a lot of questions. I cut it short after 5 minutes. Well, SMS, what do you want, bud? NO equals no. Next opportunity. I just watching football. That's why I said defense. Oh yeah, football's on right now, huh? Don't take that shit, says Francois. She's playing with your head. It's not worth it. She doesn't care at the end of the day. Prissy, she in Philip's situation, because I know she does care, but what, like I said, what it sounds like to me, because this is why I need to know your story. If you want my tailored help, you want the highest level of help, I need to know what's going on. Sometimes, in a live stream where you just drop comments, people aren't going to divulge everything. And I'll add this: you have to sit down and write your story out. In order for me to give you the best advice, you're going to need to take time and divulge your feelings. The person that just shared their story today earlier in this live stream, they took time to write that out. It was organized. It was well thought out. It was honest. They even didn't make themselves look like a hero. They were like, actually, I was selfish. I don't even know. Well, you need to get clear on what you want. Otherwise, she's just gonna catpaw you. What do you want? You want to get back together? You don't want to get back together? You just want to see how things go? I mean, I love this girl, but she had a lot of demons. Well, do you want to deal with those? Because here's the thing: when you revisit a relationship, have the problems been erased? Have the problems gotten better, or are the problems still there? You're just avoiding them because you want intimacy. Good question, right? Love's interesting because the highest level of human emotion is unconditional love, I believe. But at the same time, the person that you choose to be your quote unquote partner, I think there's a different dynamic there than a family member that has unconditional love for you and them for you. In that your partner really affects your growth and you affect their growth in life and their support. And so if you love someone that's your partner that somehow brings you down or puts you down in a regular way, because I'm sure it'll happen, time to time, or isn't a part of you moving forward, you have to be honest with yourself. It's different. I mean, she hasn't been psychotic yet. LOL. Michael Moro, been in no contact for one and decently moved on, but I don't want another chance if possible. I do want it. Michael, I would send in your full story to writemac.com and book a live coaching session. No problem, Philip. You're a good man. I don't say that to everyone. You're a good dude. Really good guy. And another woman would appreciate that. How do you avoid breadcrumbing if she reaches out again? Breadcrumbing from you or her breadcrumbing you? Been in no contact for when I'm decently moved on. Yeah, I wouldn't reply to her at this point, Philip. You can love someone, but love yourself first. Always choose yourself first. Yeah, that's true. Pay attention to if their parents tell Pay attention to if their parents tell you they know their child and you deserve better. Oh shit, I've never gotten that before. Wow. That's dark. I'm going to take that Rai Tai's gotten that before. That I've never had parents go, yeah, trust us, you should move on. She's not a good one. Jeez. Doesn't sound like a very supportive family. Um, if you, Michael, looking at your comment, and welcome. I don't think I've had you on the live stream before. Um, if you're at 1.5 months and you say decently moved on, wouldn't you rather be all moved on? So if I were you, I do want another chance if possible. I need to know what you're chasing. You know what I mean? Like what happened in the relationship. So send your story to writemac.com. We'll do a live coaching session or I'll unpack it in a video. That's what I would recommend. Oh, Johnny, parents love me. I would say parents love me also. So I've never had parents tell me to move on or anything like that. My friends or colleagues, I've always get along with parents. I like older people. They were sincere. It's not that his parents were supportive. It's that they know his past relationship didn't work because he has a chip on his shoulder. My girlfriend's sister said when she's angry, like, oh, Johnny, don't worry, she will be all right. I have had, though, I guess I have had one ex where her siblings and friends would say a few negative things about her, but it was more playful. It wasn't like, it wasn't in any way. The girlfriend was a good person, had a lot going for her. But overall, parents saying that? No, never. Never. Well, I will say this. I remember a friend of mine that had a really good relationship going, still does. He married the woman. They just seem to have a really good relationship on a lot of different levels. And he was saying that he just was like, man, she likes her parents. And I was like, she loves her parents. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you know what? It's true. There's a lot of people out there that have big issues with their parents. Sometimes they call it daddy issues or something like that. And that contributes to problems in a relationship because their model of what a relationship should be is flawed. Um, I mean, she hasn't been psychotic yet. I would say though that like if you feel like you've moved on a little bit, you might want to keep moving. 1.5 months. If you get to 3 months, you probably will get to moved on. But and like I said, is breadcrumbing something you're doing, or they're breadcrumbing you? Um, which was a negative. Ex's mom said she went through the same BS with the dad. Look at his example. It's his dad, said the mom. She was spilling some truth. Well, I mean, the dynamics that happen when you're a kid between your parents are your lessons. And people don't realize life experience, it works. This is how the human brain works, in my opinion. Not a PhD, not a scientist, but so take it for whatever you want. Start running, Philip. Absolutely. Start going for jogs, walks, or runs out of the house. Get that nervous. And I know you live in Michigan, so it's cold as hell, right? Cold as hell would not be true. Cold as ice. You got to get out of the house. If it's 8 p.m. and you go for a walk around the block and you got to get bundled up, whatever. Go to your local park. Your mind's still going to run, but it's not as painful as being in your house. That's all I'm going to say. Jogging was my kryptonite. It was my release. Did it cure me? No, but it helped. It helped a lot. And you figure out what you want to do. What would be an exciting, when you go on these runs, Philip, ask yourself, what would, she's picked moving to a new state, going for a bed and breakfast. What would Philip's ideal situation be? Like, where would you want to retire? Where would you want to go? What would you want to do? What are you not doing that would be really cool? And that's when I was like, you know what? I want to move to Thailand for a year. And then 10 years later, I'm living here by an exotic beach, which you can see in my videos now. So it's not just a bullshit story, right? Like I've said before, all these ads on YouTube. I'm Dean Grazzelli, and I made $1 billion. And this is my friend that made $1 billion. And this is my other friend that made $1 billion selling makeup. I'm like, oh, that's admirable. And this other person is, I don't really find it admirable that you have $1 billion. I'll tell you what would be admirable if you donated 900 million to various charities and organizations and poor people. That would be highly admirable. And you had an extra 100 million left over. It's not fucking impressive to me. This is just getting old. Are you guys relating to this? I got 6,000 subscribers. I'm a peon on YouTube. Okay. But the people that do like my channel, the one great thing someone say, oh yeah, you're at least, you're authentic, you're honest, you're true, you're being yourself. Isn't it just tiresome how plastic some of these people are? Live on a lake. There you go. Start thinking about which lake you want to live on. Start thinking, how am I going to get to that point? Start thinking about what it would cost, how long it would take you to save up. Start thinking about that stuff. And the crazy thing is, dude, it's doable. There's a lot of lakes in Michigan. Go to Minnesota. There's 10,000 there. We'll see after more of an actual talk. She's trying to work her way in. I mean, it's been years since I seen her and over 6 months of talking. And I moved 4 hours away. Wow, you got a lot of, the amount of people that deal with long distance is just unbelievable. It's almost like what's interesting? If someone's been in long distance relationships before, they almost seek them out. Like, yeah, I'm okay with those. They're not ideal, folks. They got expiration date on them. Relationships are more difficult as it is sometimes. The idea that you're basically part-timing it. And so if you're going to restart things that way, the way I look at a long distance relationship, you've been together 2, 3, 4 years. Someone gets a new job. Okay. Got to take the job. Okay. In 6 months, we'll move to the same country together. In a year, I'll move back. There's some kind of finish line, but you already have a foundation of living together for 3 years. It might work. It might have a chance. It's still slim odds. That being said, starting a new relationship that way, no bueno. People tend to like partners who are like their parents. Parents are the first you interact with. Subconsciously, people choose who are like their first examples. You know why that is, right, Ty? Because it's predictable. Human brain likes to predict things. So the human brain is this predicting machine. As you get older, what do? You see this and you go, oh, I've seen that before, but a different way. So I know the result already, so I'll do this. And so if someone goes, oh, I had an alcoholic parent and now I'm with an alcoholic partner, I don't know how this happened. It's like, no, because you know how to deal with them. It's familiar to you. She was supposed to come with me, but she fucked up. Okay. Go on YouTube and watch the video. Stop begging them to stay. TJ Jakes, let them go. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all you can you can go on these PhDs and you can watch a fucking 4-hour video on something. I've watched them. In my free time, I like watching psychology stuff. I like that. I really do. But you want to know how people think? Life experience happens. It imprints on their brain for the next time the new one happens. Why can I ride a bike after not riding a bike for 4 years? I remember how. Okay. It's like, why is someone scared of spiders? Because when they were 5 years old, a spider jumped out on their face. And now they think all spiders are scary. So you're representing other YouTube channels on here, Rob. Okay. Yes, predictable. Our brains are seeking power. I can do long distance because I like my independence and I like being in love, but long distance should only be 6 months and there should be a goal to be with each other. I agree, Petty Betty. I thought that's what you were doing. Good for you guys. All right. Little long distance love. Cool. Country to country. Thanks for the likes today. This has been spirited and good. I'm glad we got to share that story, and I'm glad that Philip was on to get a little bit of support because it's going to be tough, man. But we have this. Philip's going to start running, and he's going to think about where he wants to live on a lake. Start getting more detailed on that because I'll tell you what, when you go for runs, when you think about things, and you think about, now I don't have to get approval from someone else about a dream ideal setting for myself. And when you start doing that, it starts to get exciting. Your destiny is never tied to anybody that left. What is this? What is this? What does the term simp mean, Rob? Someone goes, "Oh, this person's a simp." What does that mean? I like to make fun of people and different things like that when I was younger. I don't really do it as much now. But like people that this person's a simp. I saw an execution. Best line from TD Jakes. A beta male. That's what a simp is? Just, when someone makes fun of someone, I like creative humor. I like sarcasm. I like a little bit of irony. Like, yeah, you're a simp. It's like, a very weak guy that doesn't understand the protocols of the unwritten rules. Okay. When is that a new? I've heard the word simp, Johnny. I never use it. I've never used like, oh, this guy's a simp. I've heard it. I didn't. That the reason why I asked is because what Rob said. I wouldn't even. How would you? What would you call it, oh Johnny? Would you agree with what Rob said, or you think a simp's different? I would just think someone that's weak. I don't know. The one I've always thought was like when people call someone a douchebag. I'm always like, like what does that even mean? You never heard of it till now either. I think it was a few months back. Someone came on a live stream and called me, "You're a simp, dude." It's like, so you come on people's live streams on YouTube and you seek out people to call out as simps. It's like, what a great life you live. Ass kisser, so that would be different. An ass kisser would be different. To feel to okay, I didn't know that to gain female gratification. Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I've heard the term not many times. My circle of friends or people I've talked to don't use the word very often. It's kind of interesting how people Captain Save-A-Ho. I know we used to use that in high school. I mean that fool's a captain right there. Shit. I mean we used to. I think it held us back because that was. I'm giving you some of my age right here. That was when I was in high school. Master P was really big. Na 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 na. And one of his biggest things was Captain Save-A-Hose. I remember he had a song where he opened with that, and we would just, if a friend like picked up his girlfriend from school or something, I'd be like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking captain," and you just get, I just remember that was a term for sure. So I guess it's just a different term, different time, like whining and dining and saying BS to get sex. Okay, oh, those guys are nice guys. Here's the interesting thing about that. I should do a show on that. It's like this is funny. I suppose there's a line to that, and I don't consider myself someone that's like a simp or a Captain Save-A-Ho in any way, but um, who's the one being the critic, and how much action are they getting would be a good question, right? It's like if something I remember when I had a girlfriend out of high school, and um, she was cute, she was friendly, she was a catch. She was very promiscuous prior to me, and she's flirtatious. But she was into me. She was my girlfriend. We had a good relationship. I never thought she cheated on me. Um, we're only together for a year. It's like I said, I was 18 or 19 around there. And one of like, but I was still living where I went to high school and everything like that. So everyone knows everyone. Everyone has an opinion about who you're with because they know them, this, that, and the other. And one of my friends that got zero action, had zero good looking women around him, was like, yeah, I heard this about her. Yeah, I heard that about her, this, that, and the other. Years later, I forgot when it came out. He's like, yeah, I was just jealous, dude. I really liked her myself. It's like if you're going around looking for guys to call a simp, right? Or a captain, right? That means that somehow in your world that you feel threatened by these other guys. That they're getting women on the wrong grounds. That they're playing against the rules. Bottom line is, it's an open field. It's an open game, and whatever someone else wants to do to get a woman, it's up to them. Who the fuck cares? People can have some simp characteristics, though. Drake is a simple to only make money, though. I mean, you know what people don't realize? I'm not saying, well, not all people, but you don't realize that music, movies is an act. Have you ever seen the Academy Awards and how fucking dramatic they are? They're all actors. They're professional fakes. Think about that. They're professional fakes. I mean, I wonder, Native American culture is really interesting to me. I've talked about it before. Tribe by Sebastian Junger. My grandfather was really into Native American history. I took a few classes in college. I'm no expert. I just think it's really interesting culture. Movies with Native Americans and things like that, they just interest me. Do you think in these cultures that they had dancing? I don't know if they had skits, but they had storytelling. Do you think that they would have a group within these societies where they were professional fakes that everyone liked for being fake? How is it? And then people are like, oh, yeah, you think any of these hip hop stars are that real? I don't know. Some could be. But why is it a lot of them pivot off to do movies? Because they're willing to act. Acting is fake. That's your job, to be fake. You go, like I said, you watch the Academy Awards. It's like they're crying. It's like, think about this. This is really interesting about movies, and I didn't always think this. Okay, but you got people crying and emotional over a fake portrayal of something. It's not even real life. It's like, oh my God, this person's such a great actor or actress. They're a professional fake. They're paid to be artificial. T.I. is real. Okay. Says who? I mean, these things that they say in the songs, are they doing all these things? Do you ever think? I don't know. I mean, people say Drake's a simp. Drake's no simp. People can have some simp characteristics, though. Drake is simply to only make money. Yep, simp. Drake is the one thing. Drake, the one that sings Hotline Bling. Yes, he is. Just because a girl is flirty doesn't make her a hoe. The Marvin Room song from Drake made me want to give him my shoulder to cry, and it was so sad and pathetic. It's just a song, dude. It's just a song. I mean, I know that Marvin Room song. It's got a good beat. It's got a good hook. It doesn't make me think like Drake really acts that way. I mean, when I was growing up in high school, R&B was big. I feel like R&B just fell off. Like R. Kelly, Jodeci, who else was out there? Rough Ends. Who's the other guy? I mean, R&B was way bigger. I feel like R&B is just like, where is it gone? I mean, I know R. Kelly's in trouble. He's got this bad reputation. Friends of mine are like, now, like if you say R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, they're like, no, you don't even talk about those people. It's like, I mean, their music's their music. Had a friend that did that to me. Did what? Did the Marvin's Room? That makes Drake a good singer because you believe him. Drake is the type of guy to get chased on and say on her, "I'm sorry I hurt you." Music's just my nephew who's really into hip hop and everything like that. He was saying like, "Oh, Drake's studio, Drake's this." They're all they're all using a studio. They're all like any video you see is not real. It's a production. Oh no, this guy's real. What? What? Drake is fake though. He used to rap about being hard, but he's just a kid who grew up in the suburbs of Toronto as an actor on Degrassi. I think most of the stuff that comes out in the entertainment industry is entertainment based. It's all fluff. Says me, I just said it. Yeah, Mac. Have you guys ever? You want to see one of the most dramatic videos? Go look up Lionel Richie. Hello. YouTube. Go to YouTube. That's probably one of the most dramatic productions of a music video I've ever seen. Has anyone ever seen Hello, Lionel Richie? Great song. Hello. Do you know that song? Look it up. Look up the YouTube video Hello, Lionel Richie. I mean, the production level of the story in that video. He's a professor teaching drama, and the girl's blind, but she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's 80s beautiful, right? Hello, Hello. I think's been done different times, but Hello by Lionel Richie. Hello by Lionel Richie. I think there's different versions of the song with the song Hello, but there's Hello Lionel Richie. And look up the video. You want to see something so dramatic. So dramatic and so 80s. It's hilarious. Isn't it? You look at the 80s. The 80s is fucking 30 years. What is it? 2020 now? It's almost 40 years ago. It's amazing how much things change. Oh, I got Philip to laugh his ass off. Well, that's good, Philip. Huh? It's not Adele's Hello. It's Lionel Richie's. Look up the video. It's the drama, the absolute drama in it. Another one. How dramatic it is. I mean, it's so dramatic. I actually like the song because I like the hook and I like the message. Lil Wayne's How to Love. That another one. Cisco. Whatever happened to DMX, right? My friend did his own version of Marvin's Room. Well, he got locked up on them gun charges. I don't get into all this stuff. I mean, I still like some hip hop and stuff, but the Bay Area, that's all we listen to. Tonight's battle was Gladys Knight versus Patti LaBelle. Oh, this is some show? No, I haven't seen those. Lionel Richie gang banging. Thought you was gonna say I was gonna say Lionel Richie. No. How to Love was great. How to Love was a good song. Is that a simp song? Let me see that thong. Yeah, I mean, here's what's so funny. This is one of the most interesting things about music. It's an opinion. I've been at places before where they let you play your own mute, like they let people come up like at a bar or restaurant, and they're like, "Oh, you can come up and like put a song up," and someone's like, "Oh shit, I can't believe you played that song. Oh, that shit's so weak. That's so." It's like, hey, dude, let the song ride, and you can play the next song. Oh yeah, that's a opinion of an ignorant individual that somehow believes their ears are the ears of every human being in the world. And the reality is, actually, a lot of music is, this is going to be surprising to some people, but you're gonna think about it for a minute. The time that you listen to the song and the place that you listen to the song the first couple times, you'll relate to an experience and you'll like the song better. So there used to be a song by Master P, Cadillacs and Bourbons or something like that. And I used to play that when I came out of high school, when I had my first car, and we'd have that bumping. That song, as soon as I put that on now, I'll think of being in high school, coming back with 5 friends in the car, and it was such a cool thing. So songs are related to moments in life. Grouch, I'm a Simple Man. I remember I listened to that song. I don't know if you guys know who Grouch is. I'm a Simple Man. I listened to that song when I got my first apartment in San Diego in the studio. And I remember just banging out that song like I have my own apartment and shit. So whenever that song comes on, I think about that apartment. So a lot of times songs are tied to moments or experiences. So if someone puts on a song and you're at their house and you're just sitting there, you're like, yeah, this song sucks, because you don't have any emotion towards it. No, what's another song I have like that? Selly Sell, It's Going Down. I don't know if that's a Bay Area rapper. I was just telling a friend, what's cool about Instagram. I had a friend from high school. We were really tight for freshman year or sophomore year, and then he had to move. And so he's like, I just saw you on fucking Instagram, bro. I'm glad you're doing well, da-di-da-di-da. And I was like, Dion, dude. I was like, anytime I hear anything from Bone, when I was a freshman, Bone Thugs and Harmony were big. And he used to love that. I used to love that song, Crossroads, and These Are the Days of Your Lives, and the other song, and he was laughing. He's like, damn, I haven't heard that in so long. It just reminds me of him because he used to just play that shit on repeat. There's a song called Po Pimp by, you're going to know it, oh Johnny. Whenever that song comes on, I think my friend had an 80s Cutlass, a Cuddy. And we used to listen to that when we were going out when we were like 16. So like songs are related to moments. I finally heard WAP last week. Last thing, I think I got an STD just from listening. Oh God. They had Nelly versus Ludacris. They also had Fabulous versus Jadakiss. Also, they had Rick Ross versus 2 Chainz. Wow. Betty, you can catch the replay on YouTube. Got to get some sleep. Philip, I'll be in contact. Yes, it's not a good song, but it is. I saw Ludacris. He came on to one of Usher's concerts. Mac, you have heard WAP by Cardi B. No. No, I haven't heard it. All right, folks. Any closing questions? We got a little off topic, but that's always fun. Fuck it. We'll be on deck this week. This week there's going to be a few different topics. Shit test, when you feel you have no choice. I can versus I won't. What progress you made after a breakup. Cheating. If you suspect your partner is cheating. Listen to your intuition. Is intuition real? Wow, Little Kim PG. It's so funny you guys said that. I just rediscovered Little Kim's The Jump Off. That's a good song, actually, because that's what's his name? Timberland made the beat. Timberland's beats are sick. Wow. And she got an interview by it's so funny. WAP stands for wet at. Wow. Thanks for the lesson, oh Johnny. All right. We're going to have to get you interviewed, oh Johnny. You got a good perspective, my friend. Like I said, I'm going to make this into we're going to have some callers come in on the podcast when we get this rolling. That's funny. All right, we're going to close it out on the note of WAP. Appreciate you all. I'll be back on deck tomorrow. Actually, it'll be tomorrow night, Indochina time, 8 p.m. Jessica will be on Wednesday about this time. We're going to talk to her female perspective of shit tests. Call me Mac? Why would I call me? You want to be called Mac? OSS mate? I don't know what that means. All right, folks, it's Curtains. It's been a pleasure. It's been great. No, it's always anything that's posted on Instagram for my schedule is Indochina time. So tomorrow it's going to be 8 p.m. Indochina time. You can Google that. Awesome, mate. It's a Japanese term. Are you in Japan? All right, folks. See ya.